Number 18. This is for the Unit 8 review. So look at this diagram. What is the measure of angle 1? We're going to use the exterior angle theorem, which says that the sum of the two remote interior angles equal the exterior. So I'm just going to label this one X, okay? So 35 plus 90 equals X. 125 equals X. So the measure of angle 1 is 125 degrees. Number 19. The right angle is shown below. Based on the measures of the angle, what is X? Okay, so once again, the interior angles, the sum of the three interior angles is 180 degrees. So I have 90 plus 2x plus x equals 180. Did I say 90 degrees? I don't know if I said 90 degrees, but all three angles inside of a triangle equal 180. Okay, so then I have 90 plus 3x equals 180. Subtract 90. 3x equals 90 degrees. Divide by 3. X equals 30. Now I'm going to go back and make sure I don't have to find a certain measurement. It says, based on the measures in the triangle, what is X? Well, I solved for X, so I'm good. It's 30 degrees. Excuse me. Number 20. Degree measures for the angles in triangle ABC are given below. Measure of angle A is X. Measure of angle B excuse me, is X plus 40. The measure of angle C is 30. What is the degree of measure A? They want to know what is that actual degree. So we are actually going to, let me highlight here to make sure that everybody understands. Excuse me, sorry. Okay. So I have X plus 40. I'm going to take that angle measurement. I'm going to add it to my pink measure. And then I'm going to add that to my yellow measure. And I will get 180 degrees. Okay. So now I'm going to combine like terms. I get 2x plus 70 equals 180. Subtract 70. 2x equals 110. Divide by 2. X equals 55. Okay, so let's go back and answer the question. What is the degree measures of angle A? Well, angle A is just an X, so we're good. The measure of angle A is 55 degrees. Number 21. It says, find the measure in degrees of the smallest angle in the triangle. Well, I have a 3x, a 2x, and a 4x. So this 2x is going to be my smallest degree. So the way I figure that out is all three angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. So 2x plus 3x plus 4x equals 180. That gives me 9x equals 180. Divide by 9. X equals 20. Am I done? No, because it says what is the actual measurement. So I have to plug in 20 for that x. So 2 times 20 equals 40. So the smallest degree is 40 degrees. Because 4 times 20 would be what? 4 times 20 is what? 80 degrees. And 3 times 20 would be 60. So that is my smallest degree. Okay, turn the page. 22. In the drawing below, the figure formed by the squares with sides that are labeled X, Y, and Z is a right triangle. Which equation is true for all values of X, Y, and Z? This is just the Pythagorean theorem. The right angle always points to the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is always what it equals. So you have X squared plus Y squared is going to equal Z squared. So this is the only answer you have. This one's completely wrong. This one doesn't have any squared signs on it. And then this one is multiplying them, which you can't. You have to add them. So X squared plus Y squared equals Z squared. Answer is B. 23. What is the length of YZ? So what is this length right here? Okay, first thing I know is that it is a right triangle. The right triangle points towards the hypotenuse. So this has to be C. I'm going to label this one A. A equals 8, B equals B, C equals 17. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 8 squared plus B squared equals 17 squared. 8 squared is 64 plus B squared equals 289. Now I'm going to subtract 64. B squared equals 225. Now the only way to get rid of that square is to take the square root. So I'm going to take the square root of B squared and the square root of 225. So B equals 15 centimeters. Okay, let's look at number 24. In the figure below, D is the midpoint. D is the midpoint of AC. And BD is perpendicular to AC. So they're just saying that this line is perpendicular. Perpendicular lines are lines that cross that have an angle of 90 degrees. What is the length of BD? So what is the length of that line right there? Well, I have to find the side of a triangle, the length of a triangle, and it's a right triangle. So this is C. I do not know what this one is. What is my length for B, though? 15. Because you take 30 and you divide it by 2. So you have A equals A, B equals 15, and C equals 25. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared plus 15 squared equals 25 squared. A squared plus 225, because 15 squared is 225. And 25 squared is 625. We're going to subtract 225, subtract 225. A squared equals 400. And you have to take the square root of A, which cancels that out, and the square root of 400. A equals 20 centimeters. Square root of 400 is 20. 25. The diagram below shows the dimensions of a rectangular field. What is the length of a diagonal of the field? Okay, so right here, they're asking us to find the hypotenuse C. So we'll label this A and this one B. Now remember, it doesn't matter which way you label your legs. Okay, so I don't have a lot of room. Well, I do, so we'll just write it. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A is 160 squared plus 120 squared equals C squared. Okay, 160 squared is 25,600 plus 120 squared is 14,400 equals C squared. 25,600 plus 14,400 equals 40,000. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the square root of 40,000 and the square root of c squared. So c equals 200 feet. Now what you have to do is you have to make sure is this correct. Remember, the hypotenuse is always the longest side. Does it make sense that that diagonal right here is going to be 200 feet if you have 160 and 120? Yes, it's not like 500 or 600, so it's not a weird number. It's close to it, but it's also the longest side. All right, flip it to number 26. A rectangular piece of paper measures 10 centimeters wide by 17 centimeters long. What is the length of the paper's diagonal to the nearest centimeter? So I'm going to draw out a rectangular piece of paper here. The width is 10 centimeters. It is 17 centimeters long. It's a rectangle, so I know they're all right angles, and they want to know what is the hypotenuse. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. I know this is c. I'm going to label 17. This is going to be a, and this one will be b. So 17 squared plus 10 squared equals c squared. 17 squared is, it's 289. Plus 10 squared is 100 equals c squared. $289 plus 100 gives me 389 equals c squared. So take the square root of this one and the square root of this. Leaves me with 19.7 equals c. But it says to the nearest centimeter. Since this is greater than 5, you have to round it up. So we're looking at 20 centimeters. The leg of a right triangle measures 20 centimeters and 21 centimeters. How long is the hypotenuse? Well, they're just flat out telling you exactly what you're looking for, okay? They're telling you that A equals 20 and B equals 21 and that you do not know what C is the hypotenuse. So you just fill it in. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And this is 20 squared plus 21 squared equals C squared. 20 squared is 400. 21 squared is 441 equals c squared. And if you have 400 plus 441, it's 841 equals c squared. Square root both sides, and you get 29 centimeters equals c. Now, this next one, as we read it, I also want to refer to another problem so that you can see what I'm talking about. A window washer leans a 13-foot ladder against a house. The bottom of the ladder is 5 foot from the house. Look at the diagram. How high is the second floor window off the ground? So we have a 13-foot ladder, and it's 5 foot away from the base of the house. Does everybody see that? So what I want you to do is I want you to turn to problem 34. 34 also says a 13-foot ladder is leaned against the building. The base of the ladder is 5 feet from the building. How high is the building, or how high up the building is the top of the ladder? So we're going to look at number 28, because you're going to get the exact same answer. They're giving you the exact same diagram. You have a building. You have a ladder leaning up against it. This is 13, and then this would be 5. So you have the exact same diagram, so we're just going to work number 28. Okay? So we're actually looking for a leg, so we're going to say A equals A, B equals 5, and C equals 13. Because the hypotenuse is always, the right angle is always pointing towards the hypotenuse. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared. So A squared plus 25 equals 169. Subtract 25 from both sides. A squared equals 144. And when you square root both sides, A equals 12 feet. So the other answer is also 12 feet for number 34. All right. Let's look at number 39. The diagram below shows the streets from Joe's home to school. Joe is going to bike to school along Spruce Street. What is the distance Joe will bike? Okay. So if he's going to go along Spruce Street, he's going right there. So we are once again looking for the hypotenuse. So we'll label this one A and this one B. So A equals 8, B equals 6, C equals C. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 8 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. 8 squared is 46 plus 6 squared is 36. 64 plus 36 is 100. Square root of 100 is 10, and the square root of C squared is C. So you're looking at 10 kilometers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do 30 through 33, and then I'll cut off this video, and then I'll make part 3 in a minute. All right, the club members hiked 3 kilometers north and 4 kilometers east, but then went directly home as shown by the dotted line. How far did they travel to get home? Remember, your right angle always points towards your hypotenuse C. So we'll say that A is 3, B is 4. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. You write this formula enough times, it's memorized, right? Are we memorized yet? 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. Square root 25